So, if you're new to the whole Amico scene, the whole ragging on Amico scene on YouTube, you may be wondering who are these people that defend the Amico so much? They're ravenous, they're angry and attacking. They called the guy from Digital Foundry a rat face. What is driving people to do this? You may think that they're just fans of a system that are going overboard, like kind of thing you see with Sonic the Hedgehog fans, but that's not what's going on here. What's going on here is something completely unique, and it's what we call the Amico cult. Yes, Tommy put out a 10 Commandments, and that was a joke, so now we get to joke about them being a cult. That's how it works. So the cult breaks down into basically three groups, and these groups can overlap. You can be all three, you can be two of three, but it's basically three things. And what it is the first one is the starstruck people. They're the ones that are in the middle of the road. They either grew up watching Tommy on G4, or they just really excited to know someone in the video game industry because they don't live in California, and they just think it's so cool that this guy who's got the world record for video games is going to talk to them on a tiny channel. These people are not the worst, but they really fuel what is the worst group, which is the reason that Tommy wanted to go on those tiny channels is because he wanted 4,000 investors. He was going to get as many investors as he could get, but he would go on channels that had 100 views, 200 views, because what he was really trying to get was these 4,000 investors, and they each gave in $1,000 or more. Many gave $10,000 like Smash JT. And that's the second group, is the investors. The investors are the people who put money into the Amico. They put $1,000 into this thing called Fig or Republic, and if the Amico does well, they're going to get 10 times their money back. They were told that they would probably get 3 times their money back. So put it this way, there are people on YouTube who put $1,000 into the Amico, and if it does well, they will get $10,000 back. That is why they are going into the comments and saying Amico is great. That's why people are making these channels just touting how awesome it is. Those are the worst people, the investors. That is the core Amico group that is doing the most damage out there. I want to talk lastly about the one I have the most sympathy for, which is just the nostalgia heads, the nostalgia people. That's the third group, and those are the people that I actually think are okay. I think guys like DJC, other dudes like that, they just get a warm fuzzy feeling from Intellivision. They get a vibe from Astro Smash, and they just want to see that come back. They just want to be like the Nintendo people and be, wow, I can relive my childhood in a brand new, fresh way. Those are the people I have respect for, but I think a lot of them are getting taken advantage of. By the investor types. And the investor types, again, that's guys like Smash JT, that's guys like Retro Advisory Board. Some of them have extra money to throw around. They may have, some marketing skills or some background in how to sell things. And you see them give Tommy advice, or you see them just throw around big words and just try to make the Amico look really great and prop it up. So those are basically the three groups, and you can be both. I think you got guys like Cyrus Martin. He's a nostalgia head, and he's also starstruck by Tommy. But that's basically it. So you got people that think they're friends with Tommy, you got people that are going to get money out of it, and you got the nice people who want their childhood back. But that's it. That's who the Amico fans are. That's who's absolutely in love with defending the Amico, and the more money these guys have invested, the harder they got on YouTube talking about it. They, make more accounts to talk about it. They do stupid shit like Cyrus Martin making the Amico Joy channel. By the way, the Amico Joy channel was Cyrus Martin. He's confirmed it on his own channel. So that nonsense, just shit posting, that was Cyrus. So I could go on and on. There's other guys like OEB Pete is kind of in the Cyrus Martin thing where he's just very starstruck and he's got a little bit of the nostalgia thing going. But again, we don't know who invested in it. It's not really public record as far as I can tell what YouTubers invested in this thing and what YouTubers didn't. So Lord knows who's in that worst group, who's in that deep, dark, I've got $10,000 riding on this thing group. They just want their investment back. I mean, if you had $100,000 to gain on something, you would want that. You would make videos in your hot tub like Smash JT, even if you only wanted your $10,000 back so your wife wouldn't be upset that you invested it. So what makes them a cult? This is a subject that's up for debate, but in my opinion, what makes them a cult, why it's okay to call them a cult, and I'm joking, but why we call them a cult is because they basically respond to us the way that people have seen cults respond to haters or people that criticize the cult. So often what Scientology does when a news reporter writes a bad article about Scientology and says Scientology is not so great is they'll completely discredit the person as a news source of news and just say, well, this guy's not a real news person. This guy is a fraud. He's just a hater. He's got a personal vendetta. And they won't discuss the facts. They won't discuss what's actually going on and the actual points that the person in the news is making. And that's very similar to what cults do. A lot of the comments you're going to see if you run up against the Amico crowd is going to be, you're a virgin in your mom's basement. You're a basement dwelling loser. And that's just old school internet. I think that comes out of the people who are nostalgia heads because, you know, we're talking about 50-year-old men and this may be their first internet argument and they're just going on about, you're a virgin in your mom's basement. Like, come on. That's old school. That's old school cult talk too. Just to say the person, you know, doesn't matter in society and that's why they're angry, but not actually discuss the points. Who are the Amico haters? My opinion, this breaks down into basically two groups. You have basically people like me that is doing it for the lulz. People that are just doing it because it's funny. We don't put that much effort into our videos. I think that's somewhat guys like Darius Truxton, maybe the stoner types, but not necessarily that. I think there's a lot of dads. There's guys who are fathers that just, it's funny to clown on this thing or to talk about it negatively. It's a very easy target. It just makes me think of back in the 90s when you had shows like In Living Color and they would make fun of somebody like Vanilla Ice and Jim Carrey would dress up like Vanilla Ice and tease him because it's a very easy target. Vanilla Ice came off as very inauthentic and it was very funny, so it was very easy to make fun of him. He just had to basically do the same thing. It took not that much effort. So I think a lot of us are just having fun with this and it's pretty hilarious to us. The second group of the haters is just people that this is just their job. They're not haters. This is just their job. That's Digital Foundry. That's Review Tech USA. That's the YouTubers who want to live off YouTube and try to be somewhat honest. Those are the guys that are haters. It's just their job to just say this thing doesn't look good or I don't want to talk about this thing. Those are your hate groups. I don't think that anybody's really crazy about it, although maybe that exists. I just don't see it. Who is not the haters, though? The haters is definitely not the PS5 crowd, the PC crowd. Tommy often tries to say that you just don't like Amico because you don't like old school classic games. You don't like simple games. It's not your demo. But the reality is, a lot of the Amico haters are people that like simple games. A lot of the people are people that would buy this if it was cool or cheaper or there were videos of it working really well or the games looked really good. But since that's not the case, that's where a lot of the haters are from. Most people who are into the PS5 and the PC are talking about little details about how it's better than the Xbox or little details about the games they don't like. They're talking about Cyberpunk. They're talking about things that are relevant to them. They don't care about hating on the Amico. That's from what I understand. It's mostly people that like old school games. And you could say that's a Nintendo crowd, but I mean, that's what we have left. So Atari sucks now. Intellivision sucks. Coleco sucks. There's Nintendo. That's what we have. Sorry. We would take something else if it was cool and it was affordable. There is one last group of Amico cult members that I neglected to mention, and it's more of a subcategory. This is the people that knew Tommy before all the Amico stuff. So the people he used to work with on his TV show, like Victor Lucas, or you had that guy Stuttering Craig. The people that were at the Texas event, basically, minus the YouTubers who are starstruck. So a lot of these people, they're really on the low end of what's going on. So what I'm saying is that Victor Lucas, he's a nice guy. He was cool on the show, but he's got a very small following. And that's true with the Screw Attack guy, Stuttering Craig. He's not got a big following anymore. You don't see people like Miyamoto or Jay Allard, or I believe her name was Kara Acker from Nintendo. You don't see those people coming out and speaking about how the Amico looks so great. You see the people who are not doing as well that Tommy used to work with that are coming out. And we don't know if those people have money invested. We don't know what categories they fit into. But that's one small group of Amico cult members that you also should be aware of.
Got some colorful messages from a certain fan base telling us that we should do more research, we should look more into it because it will actually impress us. So we listened to the Amico fans, we did the research, and we were baffled, horrified, and puzzled by everything we found. So thank you, Amico fans, for telling us to check it out.
Oh, man. In my opinion, hey, if you're excited for it and you're genuinely excited for it, fine. But there's no way a grown man could be that enthused and his jaw should drop to the floor over a game like Finnegan Fox, which is a remake of another game that actually looked better with the pixel art, and his jaw should drop to the floor.
Played it for a while, a couple hours. I was up there the whole day, the first time. Back then, they were, it was a while ago. It was like a year and a half ago or so. Back then, I don't think they had the controllers connected to it, or they're having an issue with the operating system connecting with the current version. So we used phones to play it, and it was fun. It was really cool. And I got to hold the controller and test it out and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is cool, but I'd like to use this in a game. But
all pay heed. The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 15. Wait. 10 commandments for all to obey.
Respond to the questions. Now that you're a part of the Amico cult, we're going to treat you like you're in the Amico cult in Nintendo News. So we don't have to respond to your ridiculous questions. If you want to challenge us with any questions or any kind of debate, no problem. Because this is 100% a scam, and there's no debate to go against us, because Tommy is being so shady and sneaky behind your backs. It's out in the open. He won't tell you the release date. He won't give you any updates. He won't let you play it. He won't let you try it. So, what more info do you need? You just refuse to acknowledge reality, and you're still kissing Tommy's ass to this day. Like, it's amazing.
Good fucking times. Smash JT, when he's your friend, he's real, man. He's real as fuck. But I gotta say, dude, the Tommy, when you met up with him, because, you know, this Smash JT was critical of the Atari VCS. I mean, sorry, what is it? The Miko. When he met up with Tommy, he switched, or whenever Tommy talked to him. I'm all like, what kind of salesman pitch did Tommy do on my boy Smash JT, man? I love the dude. I want my boy back, man.
That Digital Foundry, they're so unfair. They need to take another look at the Amico. They're so misinformed. Let me type them up here. Hey, Ratface, do your research. You're gonna feel the full power of the old man cringe community. Hey.
No, it's some real shit, though. I don't know what happened, dude. How you're not seeing things for what they are, man. You're really hardcore for this. I understand you invested, but damn, dude, we could be making some good videos right now.
Saggy melons, that's embarrassing for you. How I can't believe you did that.
Itchy balls out book. Old man cringe community. I'd like to officially go on record as saying that the Intellivision Amico does not have Laggy melons.
Give me my play date.
Laggy melons. Melons. Laggy.